me, Ghost Girl again, and today I'm here with you guys for another video. Now my tripod broke, so I'm kind of just having to lean my phone against the windowsill. Like I was about to set up for filming and then my tripod literally just collapsed as I was setting up. So I'm like, oh god, what do I do now? So now I'm having to lean it against something in order to film. So that is probably why this camera angle is a bit funny, because I'm having to rely on stuff like random objects in my room to keep this camera up. But anyway, so today I'm going to be talking about my trip to London and everything that I got up to. So you'll see that I did a kind of vlog where I took pictures and videos of my trip and posted them in a kind of presentation for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed that video last week. I didn't have time to actually be able to do a sit down and film video like what I'm doing now last week, so that's kind of why I had like that kind of style of video. I know it's been a while since I've done like those kind of style of videos, and it's not normally the style of video that I do. I mean, I did do it for like the quizzes and stuff, but other than that it's not really. But anyway, I'm gonna talk about my trip to London and everything I got up to. So because of the COVID rules and stuff, like I had no idea what the rules were for flying domestically, cause every time I checked like online it was saying different things, and there wasn't much information for domestic flying from like within the UK. So I decided that it was too much hassle to fly there because of all the rules and stuff kept changing all the time. Like every day I googled it would say a different thing. So I decided just to get the train, even though the train's 6 hours and the flight's only about half an hour. And usually you can get flights there for like £69, and trains tend to be more expensive. Although I was able to get a cheap deal, so it was about the same amount of money as it would have been for like a flight. So anyway, I booked the train and I was meant to be staying at a mate's, but the landlord like screwed him over and told him that there'd be a room available for me. But then when I went to like book everything, like the landlord was like, oh no, the room's taken. So my mate was really annoyed at the landlord for doing that, and I had to book a room on Airbnb, and it was a bit of a nightmare because I originally booked it with this one woman, and she was stayed like kind of in the Islington area, but she was a nightmare to deal with because she kept changing her mind. She was saying, oh yeah, I can take you, blah blah blah, at what time you checking in. And I told her time to check in, and she was saying it wasn't suitable, and then she told me to cancel her and book with someone else, so I did. And then she sent me a message saying that she could take me, and I said to her, well, I've already cancelled it. And I was like to her, are you alright with me rebooking with you once this cancellation comes through, because it takes so many 48 hours. She's like, yeah, that's fine. And then I sent her a request, and then she said to me, oh, I'm not sure if I can take you, I'll let you know in like so many weeks time. And at this point I was getting a bit fed up, So I went to look to see if someone else could take me, and I found an Airbnb, and they said they were willing to take me. So I put in a reservation request with them, and just as well I did, because the next day the lassie sent me a message saying that she couldn't take me. So I cancelled her, and then I booked with this other person, and then that was that sorted. I was able to get the room pretty cheap for like a room in London. Normally in the hotels and stuff, it was like £90 a night, and I was able to get this room for like £30 a night. So I was able to get it for like really cheap for London anyway. But yeah, I was just relieved once that was like all sorted out, because it was just a nightmare like trying to sort all that out. But anyway, when I finally got able to go to London, it was kind of like an overnight train. So when I got there, it was like really early in the morning, and it was just a nightmare trying to find like my Airbnb. I got lost a couple of times because, honest to God, see trying to use a sat nav and locate yourself around London using a sat nav. Honest to God, it's an actual nightmare. The sat nav had me all out of the gaff. So anyway, I was eventually able to get my room and get settled in for the night. And my first day there, my suitcase broke, so I had to go out and buy a new suitcase. I had no food for breakfast, so I had to go out and buy food for breakfast, and the only place that I could find was like this wee cafe, and it looked like there was nothing for miles. So I found this wee cafe, £6 for toast and jam. £6. I was like saying to her, love, are you joking me? £6? She's like, yeah, that's the price. I'm like, fucking no one of you didn't publish the prices on the menu. Like when I went in, never had any prices on the menu, and I was a bit sceptical. But I only went in there because there was nowhere else. I think to myself, fuck's sake. No one there was any prices on the menu. No one would go in, it was that expensive. So anyway, I went to this place for breakfast, then I had to change my suitcase because it broke. Then once I got a new case, I was able to go to a shop and buy breakfast food. I ended up on this street in Camden named Holloway Road. Camden was the area in London that I was staying in, and they've got a lot of like discount shops and stuff. So I was able to get a suitcase there, and I found a Lidl, which I was happy about. So I was able to get like cheap food for my breakfast there. And so I was getting up in the morning and I was just making breakfast myself. So I spent my day kind of just chilling out in this Hollywood place for a bit. Then I was meant to go with my mate to see London.If that night, but he cancelled. So I ended up going to Hyde Park on my own at night in the dark. I don't know what possessed me to go to Hyde Park on my own in the dark, but I did it. And don't get me wrong, it was still light when I went there, so it was nice. Then it was getting slightly darker, but I wasn't exactly concerned. But then by the time I decided to head back, it was about 10 o'clock at night. Then it got darker and darker, and it was pitch black. I couldn't see a thing. I was absolutely terrified. I got myself lost, and I had to whip the sat nav out to find my way to the underground station, because I had to get the underground from Camden to Hyde Park. And it was awful. The sat nav kept telling me to go, telling me to go one place, and it was telling me to go back. And then eventually I just took a leap of faith, freaked out and ran down a path. And then that led me to the park exit, and luckily from there I was able to find my way back to the underground. But I thought to myself, never again am I going to Hyde Park at night by myself. So that was the first day. On day 2, I was supposed to go to Deep Sea World with my pal. My pal, he kept letting me down. It was really annoying. So I ended up just going by myself to Deep Sea World. I got the tube from Camden Town Station to Waterloo Station. It's really easy, you just get the Northern Line. And then I walked through Waterloo to Deep Sea World, and the aquarium led me to this big posh building, and I thought to myself, no, that is not Deep Sea World. And I had to go in and ask like one of the security men how to get to the London Aquarium, and he was like, aye, and he pointed to the london.If, he's like, see that, just follow that, he's like, it's on the waterfront. So I went to Deep Sea World, and you'll see from the loads of pictures that I posted, all the pictures of the Deep Sea World. I really enjoyed it, it was really good. I think my favourite part was like seeing all the beautiful jellyfish and stuff. I never knew you got so many different types of jellyfish. I did enjoy that relaxing, well, what was meant to be a relaxing day at Deep Sea World. And it was a good day. I had a relaxing day at Deep Sea World until I went to Subway for my dinner, and there was this crazy man wandered in, and I think this guy had been watching way too many movies. He started shouting in the middle of Subway about the devil and about the devil taking over and stuff like that, and it was just really scary. And I was in there on my own, and I didn't know anybody, and I was like actually scared. And then he started shouting at these kids that were wearing like an England t-shirt, because it was the Euros was on and England were in the final. Everyone was celebrating, but this guy was trying to say that it wasn't real, and he flung like he had a full big 2-litre water bottle, and it was full of water, and he flung it at these kids, and he like chased them out the subway and that. It was really scary, but he did leave like eventually. I was supposed to go to this bar to see a drag show, and what happened was my mate phoned me up and was like, do you want to go to Hyde Park? And I'm like, are you sure you're going to actually turn up this time? Because the last couple of times you never turned up. He's like, aye. So anyway, I went, got home, got dressed, and then we met up to go to Hyde Park, and we ended up in Leicester Square, and everybody was like celebrating for the Euros. So the guy was like, oh, we'll just hang out here. And then we ended up in this street, and there were police going about chasing people with smoke bombs. I think to myself, for fuck's sake, we went from a relaxing day at Deep Sea World to this, and folk were fighting on the street, and there was glass getting thrown everywhere. Honestly, it was awful. I was so glad when he asked if I wanted to go home, because that night was awful. So day 3 was the day that I went to visit Auntie Mary. I've got an Auntie Mary that lives in London, and I went to visit her. I had to get the tube from Camden to North Acton, and it was a connection, and I remember it taking ages. And the underground is so weird. It's like, because there's a stop called White City, and as soon as you get to like White City, it's like the underground goes above ground, and it's just so weird. So anyway, I remember getting off thinking, wow, are we even like in London anymore? And I met my auntie, and this is the first time I've seen the news, because if you guys probably don't know this, but I've never had a great relationship with my dad. Like, when I was little, he used to be really good with me, but then he met another woman, and he just kind of stopped taking much to do with me after that. So I haven't seen my dad or any of his family in years, because my dad fell out with them all and was trying to stop me from seeing them and stuff. And now it's been years since I've spoken to him, and now it's only just been like okay for me to connect with the rest of the family. So anyway, I went to see my Auntie Mary, and it was a wee shame, because when she seen me, she ran over to me and she hugged me, she started crying, and because my dad wouldn't let her see me, and it was just a wee shame. And like my dad's wife still contacts her, and my Auntie Mary doesn't like her and I don't like her, and Mary says she just keeps in touch with her to keep the peace, but apparently she was messaging my Auntie Mary, and my dad's wife wanted to meet me that day. I was meant to meet Mary, and Mary was like, oh, I don't think it would be alright. She's like, I don't think Millie could handle seeing me and her dad on the same day. I think it was too much pressure. And I'm like, Mary, I'm so glad you said that, because I don't think I could have coped with him being there. And Mary was like, well, I don't think I would have wanted him in my house anyway. I said, no, I wouldn't have wanted him in your house either, Mary. So anyway, I met her, she took me to her house, and she made me like a nice dinner, and she made me like a kind of Greek dinner, and it was really nice, like really tasty. Like, my Auntie Mary is such a good cook. I can remember going to our dinner once when I was a bairn, but I can't really remember what our food was like, and I know our food was good, but because it had been so long since I've eaten like one of our meals, I must have been about 5 or 6, I'd forgotten like how good our food was. Like, wow. I wish she'd give me cooking lessons so I'd learn how to cook. But anyway, so I had dinner at my Auntie Mary's, and I was there till quite late, so when I left her house I just went home and kind of straight to bed. So day 4, this is when I went to Madame Tussauds, and I was there, and I had to get like the underground, and I went there, and when I first went in, I was like, oh my god, this is like really cheesy, like why am I here? Because it was just like, when you first walk in, it's like this kind of catwalk thing, and then you go up and it's just hundreds of models, celebrities standing everywhere, and I'm like, this is not my gig. Like when I was in that bit, I didn't even know who like half the stars were in it. I was like, why am I here? Like I'm not the biggest like pop culture fan like at all, if you've noticed with like my channel. But when after like those two bits, it was actually like really good. There was like an alien versus predator theme, and like you'll notice from my pictures, like with the guy with his back open, cut open, that was like the alien versus predator room. And there was also like a kind of like vintage room, and there were movie themes. It was mostly kind of like movie themes, and there was a big Marvel theme and a big Star Wars theme, and yeah, I'm glad it was mostly like movie themes, and instead of like wax figures, so I was able to like enjoy it more. So anyway, then after I went to Madame Tussauds, I had my lunch at this salad bar place. There's like a cafe across the road from like Madame Tussauds, so like I had my lunch in there, and then I went to the underground station and bought myself like a few snacks out of a shop. Then after that, I went into the underground, and I came out of the underground to find a message from my dad, and I'm like that, oh no. And I've not responded because I feel like he's just gonna get me involved in some sort of family drama that I really do not want like involved in. But anyway, that night after I went to Madame Tussauds, I met up with my friend again, and he kind of just drove me like round London and was like showing me like the sights and stuff, and he drove me to like Buckingham Palace, and I got to see Buckingham Palace and St Paul's Cathedral and that. If you've watched like the travel blog, you'll see the pictures of me standing like on a bridge and stuff. That was a picture of me that night. Then on day 5, I went to Oxford Street and I went shopping, and I bought myself like a couple of tops. Oxford Street, I got told it was really good for shopping. There is a few stuff, but it's mostly like souvenir shops and stuff now. And then I've noticed there's a lot of like construction work going on there. So like, I don't really know what's happened to it, but everyone went on about how amazing it was for shopping, but it's not anymore. Someone told me about Camden Mall, so I think if I go back to London, I'll probably go to Camden Mall for shopping and not Oxford Street, because it's meant to be like a big massive like super mall. Don't get me wrong, the stuff in the shops that was there was nice, and I was able to get myself like a few nice tops and that, but it's not the best for shopping, not anymore. So anyway, once I'd gone to Oxford Street, that night I met up my friend and we went to Victoria Park and we explored Victoria Park. It's a really nice park, so's Hyde Park. And then obviously it was my last night, so he wanted to show me like a good time, so he took me to like this Indian restaurant, and it was like like based on this vintage like Indian slash Iraqi cafes, and it was amazing. Everything was like all vintage themed and dark wood, and when you went to the toilet, you walked downstairs through the kitchen, and you could see like all the chefs like making and kneading the dough for like all the naan bread and stuff. And the toilet was like a proper vintage toilet where you like had to pull like the plug that like down like that. I've never seen that before in real life, so that was pretty cool. If you love history and vintage stuff, then you would have loved that Indian restaurant. And if I ever go to London, I might, if my Auntie Mary says if when I come back I can stay with her for a few days, so I might treat her to an Indian at that Indian place. Yeah, Oxford Street. But anyway, so then on my final day, I went back to Holyrood Road. I never told you all, guys, but I met a friend at Holyrood Road named Paul, and we're just mates. And he said, and we'd speak on the phone, like texting and that when we were there, and he says that if I ever want to go down to London, I can like hang out at his flat and stuff like that. And I said, yeah, I'd think about it. I was like, God's sake, I'm getting loads of invites for places. I've had an invite from Manty, an invite from Paul, and my mate from Scotland is wanting to go to Ibiza, so I've got all these like holidays to go to, all these invites. It's great, but because of COVID, I can't even do much. But anyway, on the 5th day, I went to Holloway Road, and I went like kind of shopping there for like cheap bargain stuff, and I got myself a few things that I needed for like get surviving the train journey back. And then I went to this wee Greasy Spoon, and they made this like really good like cheese salad, so I was able to like get something nice to eat. And then once I had this like cheese salad, I had to get an Uber to like the train station because my train was like at 4. So I took in that long eating that food that I had to get, like I couldn't walk back, I had to get an Uber. So I got an Uber to the train station, and that gave me like plenty of time to find like the platform and everything and go to the toilet because my bladder is so bad. It's ridiculous how often I'm needing to go to the toilet because of this dodgy bladder. But anyway, I got the train home, and I got my mum a fridge magnet, and yeah, that is my trip to London. I hope you guys like enjoyed this like detailed video of me talking about my trip. If you did, then please like this video, comment down below, subscribe to my channel, click on that notification bell so that you'll be notified when my next videos come out. And also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter. My Twitter is linked down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and goodbye.